everyone, it's Mari and thanks for joining me on my channel today. Today I have another episode of Scrap the Challenge for you where Kelly Barron and I have issued each other a challenge to create our own kit from our stash. And so this was a really fun challenge and definitely a challenge for me, that's for sure. It's something I've never done before, but it was a process I really enjoyed, and I'm going to share that process with you today. So I've just got my kit in my iris container here, and I'm going to start off by showing you the papers that I selected from my stash and how we started out this challenge was with the same piece of paper. And so we both started off with this piece of pink paisley paper from the C'est La Vie collection, and Kelly and I both had this paper, and so we decided that this would be a great place to start, that we would use this as our inspiration piece for the rest of the papers that we chose from our stash. And I really love this mint green, I love the wood green and the fuchsia, and so as I went through my stash, those were the papers. That was the paper that I used to help me pick out the other choices. So as many of you have, as I do, a lot of pattern paper, and I probably don't have nearly as much as some people. That was going to be a fairly daunting task for me to try to go through and pick out some different papers that would coordinate, just because there's so many. And so what I did was I just tried to really focus on the mint green and the fuchsia to begin with. And as I was going through, I was thinking of other colors that I could add in that would also coordinate with this original piece. So this piece is perfect. This is also a pink paisley piece. It's from the Citrus Bliss collection. And what I really liked about this one is that it's not super busy, but it does have this really nice little diamond shaped pattern in it. It's got a little bit of distressing to it, and it has some brighter colors in it too that you can bring into a layout. So I really like that. And the other side would also work because it's got that mint green and aqua in it. And I really love that, the patterns that are on there too. So I've had this in my stash for a while. It was in another kit, and I really love this side of the paper, and I was hoarding it. I guess I just decided that I was afraid to cut it up because it's gorgeous. I love that. So that's the first one. The next one that I picked is a text, and I wanted to have a text piece in my papers somewhere. We decided that we were going to pick between 6 and 8 pattern papers, and when I was thinking about it, I thought I'd really like to have one that has text on it, and I really like this one. This is from Jelly Bean Soup, the Saffron Yellow Pepper Soup collection, and I love this color. It's a little bit darker than the original color on this one, but it still coordinates well, so that was one that I chose. And I like that it has the white in it as well, instead of cream. So I was trying to pick papers that had white, not cream. Okay, so the next one that I have is one that I've had in my stash for a while as well. This is from Beautiful Chic by Webster's Pages, and it's designed by Adrienne Lumen. And I love it. It's gorgeous. I love anything from Webster's Pages. This is really neat because it's got the right kind of colors in it. It brings in a little bit of the yellows, and I love these different patterns in the little shapes that are on there. So love that. It's a little bit different. Then I chose a floral, and this one is from Dear Lizzie Documentary, and it has the fuchsia, but it also has some really pretty yellow in it as well. So I love that, and just the different pattern with the floral. So I brought some of that in. Then I also chose this one, which has that same kind of mint green in it, and it's got some little circles. And this is from 7 Paper from Studio Calico, and I think this one is Goldie, and it's 008. Then I also chose this really pretty fuchsia stripe with some distress, and this one is from Dear Lizzie Documentary, and it's called Bear Hug, and it also has the dots on the other side, which is a little bit more cream than white, so I probably will stick with this side. have that one. Then I went really different, and this one is from Heidi Swap. But I like the variation of the geometric pattern in this one, different from the other papers, but still coordinating with the same colors. So just like that it's not all circles or it's not all flowers, just to bring in a little different pattern in this one. You know, we've got some stripes, we have some circles, we have some geometric, we have some different kinds of shapes here, and then floral. And then finally I have a black and white stripe. This is also from Beautiful Chic from Webster's Pages, and it's got the painted black stripe on it, which I really love. So those are the papers that I've chosen, and like I said, this was not an easy task. It was fairly complicated as the first time that I went through it, and I've always had huge admiration for those people who create kits and sell them, because it can't be easy to pick all of those coordinating different elements of the kits, but this is what I chose. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm excited to see what I will come up with that. And then we also decided that we would have the option of mixing in some cardstock. So I just chose a yellow, a fuchsia, a mint, and a craft from my stash. So those are my papers. So then the embellishments. When we were talking about the embellishments that we would look at using for the kit, we talked about having a small alpha and a larger alpha. So the small alpha that I put in my kit is October Afternoon Daily Flash alphas, and the ones that I chose are the mason jar. Different slightly in color, but anyways, that's good. They're both mason jar. So I've got those for a smaller alpha. Then I have a bunch of larger ones, kind of a mixture of different kinds here. These ones are chipboard from the Shine collection from Maggie Holmes. Then I've got some Amy Tangerine. These ones are called Memento, I believe, and they're puffy alphas, kind of a teal color. Then I have some gray foam thickers. I've got some silver. I didn't use any gold in my kit. I stuck with silver. So these ones are just some chipboard silver. Then I have these ones from Amy Tangerine, the Alex thickers that are chipboard, and they're white with silver. So those are pretty. And then I also chose some fuchsia, and these are just Amy Tangerine glitter foam thickers in fuchsia. Then I also chose some word thickers as well, and these ones are Dear Lizzie snapshots. Love those, black. And I also chose some cork from the Journey collection from Crepe Paper. And then lastly I have from Pink Fresh Studios Felicity, and these are just some foam glitter word stickers, and I picked these because of the silver again. Then I also have a bunch of other embellishments for the kit, and I just went through my stash and just kind of picked out a bunch of stuff. What I do with my die cuts and that sort of thing that are from really old collections is I put them in a big iris container so that I can just, you know, sort through them when I'm looking for something specific. I know some people are really organized and they have their die cuts and all of their embellishments, or they're all kind of put away according to colors. I'm not that organized. I've got mine just sort of in one big container just so that I can see everything in one shot and shuffle through it in that way. So these are the embellishments in this tray for my iris container. I've got a few dimensional stickers here. So I've got some butterflies, and those are in the coordinating colors with the craft, the pink, the yellow, and the mint green. I just stuck a few buttons in here. I've got some silver glittery chipboard hearts. I have some cork hearts. Then I have some washi in the kind of aqua and the silver and white stripe. I've got a few flare that I picked out. I have some little bows in silver, black, and white. Then I took this little glassine bag of acetate circles, and those are from one of my hip kits. I've got a whole bunch of die cuts here and just a mixture of things that are in coordinating colors for the kit. So this is Dear Lizzie Serendipity, but I mean there's just all kinds. There's some Heidi Swap in here. There's some Jelly Bean Soup, pea pod parts, all kinds of stuff. I've got some little banners here. I believe these maybe are from Heidi Swap. I'm not sure, possibly. And they just have some little words on them in some coordinating colors. I've got a whole bunch of frames. Some are just cardstock and some are chipboard. And then I've got this one acetate piece. Then I've got some rub-ons from Dear Lizzie documentary. I have a couple of tags. I have some enamel dots. I have some paper clips from Heidi Swap. Some more documentary pieces. These are the wood buttons. Then I have a bunch of word cutouts. For example, some of these, I think there's 3 that are vellum. And this one just says happy. And then there's one that says blissful and one that says hello. And then I have some wood veneer. And I don't tend to use a ton of wood veneer, that's for sure, on my layouts. And that would be why I have quite a little bunch here. And that's not even close to what I have in my stash. So I just tried to pick out a bunch of wood veneer that I could try to use up. So I've got some words and some different little shapes and so on, all kinds of little wood veneers in there to choose from. So those are the embellishments that I picked. And then I also at the end went through my 6x6 paper pads or my other paper pads and just picked out a collection of smaller papers that I could bring in with different patterns on them, some with text, just to coordinate in, to bring in a little bit of variety with the paper. And you can use these with your punches. You can cut shapes out for your layouts or whatever, but it just brings in an opportunity to just to add a little bit of different interest to your layouts with some other kinds of patterns. So that is my kit, and I'm really anxious to get going on it. Kelly and I are going to do our first layouts for this kit challenge in 2 weeks' time. So this week we just created our kit, and in 2 weeks we'll have our first layouts with this kit, and we're going to try to do 3 layouts with this kit in total. So that'll be fun. So if you'd like to join in with us on this challenge, you can share what you've done if you have an Instagram account and you use the hashtag #ScrapTheChallenge. Excuse me. We can follow along with you on Instagram and see what you've created, or you can tag us on Facebook, and Kelly and I will leave our social media links on our videos here, and I will also leave a link in the description section to Kelly's YouTube channel so that you can go and check out her kit and what she did to create her kit as well. So this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit daunting at first. I thought, I don't know if I can do this, but I did it. I'm really happy. Proud of myself. Woohoo! Little pat on my back there. It wasn't that bad. It was actually a lot of fun. And now that I've created one kit, I think I could definitely do this again. And it's a great way to use up your stash. And if you do have a kit subscription, as I have for a while, sometimes things get built up. You don't get into your kits as soon as you'd like to. And right now I've kind of backed off on my one kit subscription. I'm going to be getting the Felicity Jane for a little while to try it out. And eventually I want to go back to my hip kit subscription. But for right now, I'm just going to try to use up my stash as much as I can and try to make a few kits with my products that I already have so that I can use some things up. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in 2 weeks with the first layout for this kit. Bye-bye.